So whether you're an atheist or you're religious, etc., it seems to me that procreating is at the top of the totem pole. If you're an atheist, it's procreating. If you are religious, it's God, then procreating, which is right there, right? So with that said, creating life, what makes a man's chances increase to procreate? I'll answer it. Acquiring status, resources, being attractive. Fair? Can we all agree on that?
Trinity. No, data-wise, you're just wrong.
What?
Like, poor men have more kids than wealthy men. You're just wrong. I know you say I'm a contrarian, but like, you can Google the numbers right now. You're just wrong.
No.
The best in the village.
I didn't say what is actually going to lead to. I said what increases your chances.
How can it increase your chance if it doesn't actually do it? Or what is that? What do you base it on?
It would be the highest level of trinity of status, network, and looks in the fucking village. Like Melina chose you from all the fucking nerds. She chose you because you have the most network, looks, and status, you dumb
thank you for saying I'm so hot. If there's a guy that's pursuing that trinity of things and another guy's just trying to have as many kids as possible, the guy that has as many kids as possible is always going to have more kids than the wealthy.
But remember, again, this goes back to creating life and increasing your likelihood of mating. As a man, acquiring status, resources, competence, etc., is going to secure your ability at a higher likelihood of getting a better mate, being able to stay with that mate long term, and most importantly, getting more than just one woman because men want quantity. Right? Acquiring status, resources.
Yeah, I understand.
It's like important for increasing your chances of finding a mate.
Sure, it's a fun theory, but number-wise, none of that exists in reality. Poor men have more baby mamas. Poor men have more children. Poor men have a higher likelihood to pass their genes on. Isn't this just the point of like idiocracy of the movie?
They cannot sustain and maintain a.
They don't need to sustain and maintain.
Destiny, which of the poor? The highest status.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish my point here, okay? Because it still doesn't change the fact that it increases a man's likelihood of mating, acquiring these things, which is why, right? Men get a natural benefit and happiness because you mentioned before, you guys built up this podcast. It makes you feel good. The reason why men chase resources and status is because that leads to respect. That leads to fulfillment because men are fulfilled when they create something. That's why men are builders. That's why men are overwhelmingly inventors. They create infrastructure, etc. Men are fulfilled from creating things. Women, however, are fulfilled from creating children. That's why women, right? Women don't get the same satisfaction from building something. They don't get the same satisfaction from career, earning income, etc. They get more satisfaction from having children. Even the women on the panel, successful hairdressing salon, etc., they pick their kids. Why? They pick their kids because they know that my duty as a woman is to be attractive so I can find the highest status man that I can and have children with that man. So what I'm saying is that women get their benefit from biological sense. They get their fulfillment from having a family. If they want to have a career, that's cool, but it's never going to fulfill them to the same extent that it will for a man, because when a man is fulfilled with a career, his mating options increase. When a woman is fulfilled by being attractive and having a man, she's successfully done her mating strategy, because men and women are different. Women want quality. So how do I get quality? I be attractive, keep myself young and fertile, get that man. Bam, I secured his resources. I won. I have children with that man. I'm in a relationship. Man wins. I have resource. I have status. I have this woman. But if I want to, I can spread my seed to other women because I have the ability to have quantity.
Why don't any of them do it?
Perfect.
What was that?
What wealthy men don't go out and have a ton of kids, though? It like defeats your entire argument. If men are only pursuing these things because it gives them the option to procreate more,
they fuck a bunch of other women.
But they don't, and they don't have a lot of kids. They literally don't. Higher body counts are on poor people. Like everybody knows this.
Are you talking about today?
Today, yes.
Yeah, because there's birth control. We have contraception and birth control, so men don't have to deal with the consequence of impregnating women.
Yeah, but even wealthier men don't have higher sexual partner count. There's no study, there's no research you could pull. Like, we're totally off the facts at this point. Like I said, like it's like Nick's story. These are nice stories, but they don't map onto reality. They're just stories. If you look at the data, wealthy men aren't out here having sex with all these women. They're definitely not procreating with all these women. And if they wanted to, they could tell them to get a birth control.
Jesse, common sense. Common sense
is if you ask who has more kids, it's going to be poor people.
Mapping on reality, maps and meaning over here. If I am like a multi-millionaire and I'm standing next to some homeless bum, who is going to have a higher chance of mating with a woman?
It's about who's choosing to.
Exactly. We're talking about chance, not choice.
But you're saying you pursue the chance in order to exercise the chance.
We're saying very simply, it's very simple. I know it's hard to understand. There's no source. Where's the source that says that
I do like that you fall back on emotion over fact, because you can't win the data argument. It is. It's an emotional argument.
It's just
I can't argue against the emotion.
Everybody watching can perfectly understand what
really they think that wealthy people have more children than wealthy people.
That's why everybody understands are more accessible to wealthy people.
Wait a minute. Then why do poor people have so many more children?
Because it's a different lifestyle.
You think right now? I'm curious. And the wealthier countries in the world versus the poor countries in the world, who's having more children?
Africa.
Really, but they're all poor. Why?
Selection.
Why?
It's
First
RK
of all, it's not
selection. Very
RK selection.
simple.
That
Yes,
has to
it
do with
is.
investment in
It
offspring. That's not
absolutely
even
is.
true.
Yes,
No.
it is. Yep, it
It's
is. You can
not.
look up. There's a debate about it on YouTube. But
There's not a
that's
debate about it.
besides the
There
point.
are selected species and case-selected
It's
species.
very simple.
But it has nothing to do with the conversation right
If
now.
I'm rich versus a poor person, who has a higher chance of going to a bar and pulling a girl and taking her home?
Well, based on the data, it seems like the poor person that's spending all this time f***ing does.
Okay, that's all I wanted was that
That's
answer.
great. And then we
based
look up-
on the data, the poor person.
What, is
Okay.
data gay
Case
when it
closed.
backs me up, Nick?
It's
Mr.
gay when it's
Captain Virgin
retarded.
at 26,
It's gay
you
when
hate
it's
the data
retarded.
now?
Everyone
I'm
raise
sorry,
your hand if you think
well,
the
I
rich
know that
person has a
upsets you.
higher
I'm sorry.
chance of
I can only
pulling a
go by
woman
the
in a
numbers.
bar.
That's all I can
But
read.
that's the thing,
Literally
you
everybody.
also have to admit that what we're talking about, there's no way to conclusively conduct a study on that level where you're comparing wealthy men who keep their sex life secret for obvious reasons versus a regular dude and or a lower socioeconomic male. Like you can't, that study would never pass any type of ethical
Wait,
guidelines.
hold on. You literally can check who has more children. You can break it down.
40 Discord girls a month, but when you were a carpet cleaner, you barely had one.
But
You had some half
I don't
midget.
have babies with 40 different women.
That's
What are you talking about?
40 different guys.
That's not a good assessment to use that people are having sex, because you got to remember in 2023, guys that have money are more likely to pay for an abortion, use contraception, give a girl a plan B. They're less likely to actually go through the process of having the child.
Yeah, but then why would we acquire all the status if it's not to have children then? I thought that was the whole point.
No, you're right. But men want the sexual options. Men are more interested in the sexual act. That's what I'm talking about.
No, that's the point here. Optimal performance will indicate, for example, you need money and status, but just to have kids and have like that sex life, you could be a bum. However, it's the intent behind it. So if I intend to have sex with women, that's my intent. That's my focus. So by default, I'm gonna have more options and more girls.
Fresh.
But higher quality women will respect a man that has worked on himself and becomes successful.
Wait a minute, Fresh and Nick, are you saying the homeless man that smells like fucking dog piss is not fucking my wife? You gotta be kidding me, bro.
The whole reason I even went through that display is to show that men derive fulfillment from success and acquiring status and resources, which increases their likelihood of going up in the sexual marketplace. Women get fulfillment from having a child and family with a man they love, admire, and respect, and securing his commitment. We are very different in our sexual strategies. That's what I'm saying. Men and women derive fulfillment from different things. Can a woman derive fulfillment from a career? Of course, but a majority of women will not.
I understand what you're saying, but I can only repeat it so many times. Like, none of the data agrees with you. There's a reason why the world has changed the way it is, but like, we're just going back and forth.
No. Since the 1970s, female lack of happiness has gone up.
How are you guys going to decry studies I use and then try to appeal to one of the most difficult to study social phenomenon of like happiness and satisfaction? Like, if you want to study happiness and satisfaction, every single first world country dramatically outpaces every single third world country where they're having more kids, where they live a more fundamental life, where they don't have birth control of cell phones. But like, studying happiness is one of the most difficult social phenomenon to study.
But since
now you're going to appeal to
they've
those
seen
studies.
females' life approval ratings have gone down. And what has also occurred during those same decades, I know correlation is a causation, but feminism got stronger since the 70s, and women's happiness rates have went down alongside it. So is the antidepressant medication subscriptions, they've went up. So, I mean, we could sit here and say women are happier now than ever before, but I would respectfully disagree and say that women are less happy than they've ever been because they've been lied to about what actually makes them happy. They're being falsely told, chase a career, make money, acquire resources, basically live like a man, and you will be happy. And what do we have? We have a lot of sad women out there that aren't having the same high approval ratings with life, even though they're the most educated and they make the most money they've ever had.
Sure. I mean, like, we can, I don't want to go back and forth all night, but like, I said my piece, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.